Oh, that awkward moment of just waiting for that button to just show up that you're live. It's so exciting. It's nervous. It's amazing. I'm so psyched to be doing this podcast with Ken Walls. Ken is a force. And the way that we connected was such an interesting story. I just have to share that. But before I do that, I really want to get a quick introduction from you, Ken. Tell us about your life and what you've been through. And then we're going to get into this topic. I've got a great agenda here, so I can't wait.
You want to know about me?
I want to know about you.
Dude,
Give us your short bio or your long bio, whatever you're
I don't
comfortable with.
I don't have a bio. Go to kenwalls.com and learn all about me. No, I do a lot of live streaming. I'm known in some circles as the king of live streaming. I teach live streaming, I teach podcasting. I teach people to just go for it and stop getting in your own way. And yeah, man. So I mean, I'm a public speaker. I've authored and co-authored 7 books. I've done a couple of things, man.
Well, it's exciting because you wrote the book on live streaming. In fact, it's right above you.
I wrote a chapter, the longest chapter. Jeffrey Gitomer wrote that book, Go Live, and invited me to write one of the opening chapters because I taught him how to use StreamYard and live stream and all of that. So I'm incredibly grateful and blessed for that, for sure.
Well, one of the things that I really appreciate about you right off the bat is that you just have a go, go, go mentality. And, perfection is the enemy of progress. And even in this recorded conversation, I was tripped up a little bit with my technology. And I said, I had that fear moment where I said, hey, you know what, let's reschedule. Let me go spend money and let me go, do stuff. And it's not necessary because here we are. People can see us, they can hear us. We're sharing stories. We're going to get into a conversation, and it's real as hell.
Yeah, it is, man. I'm actually, wow. Is this live on YouTube as well?
Yeah, it's live on YouTube. I can send you the link actually. Yeah, I can do that. I'd love to get this shared up. Anyone listening live, feel free to share. Throw us a comment. We are going to be reading the comments. Oh, one just popped in. We're going to be reading the comments in real time, so we'll answer questions here to make this interesing.
Anthony Fonte, he that name is incredibly familiar. Okay, I see what you just did there. So his name is really familiar. Hey, let's start. Can I take control?
Please go. Let's do this,
dude. This I don't know. I kind of feel like it's turning into a we're gonna be best friends, dude.
I'm in.
This started off with I was using a different platform, and I won't mention, just to be professional, I don't want to mention their name. It rhymes with Blippo Hideo. So
you're funny.
And it just was so another influencer told me about Dubb, and I was like, okay, I'll check it out, and I was I was at this point where I thought, why even check something else out, because I've already been down this road with this other app, and I tried others before, and I'm like, okay, fine, I'll check it out. So I get in and I start messing with and I don't recommend this, and I'm sure Ruben, you don't recommend it. I start messing with the templates, trying to modify templates, and I'm like, I know I can do this, and anyway, I found out I was doing something, that there's a way easier way. And so dude, you have built one heck of a platform. I have, and I don't even think it's been a week, has it? Has it been a week maybe?
No, you're new, but you know it. Like,
Dude, I've put out 42 videos in not even a whole week. And because this is what I do, man. This is what I teach. I teach video. I built my very first website in 1994. And so what is that? 28 years ago almost. I built my first website in 94, hard coded it, HTML, straight HTML. And then fast forward to about 2002, 2003, a friend of mine, his wife was a realtor, and she can, I love it. So she was a realtor, and she was telling me she had this house that had been on the market forever, and she wasn't getting any traction. I said, hey, you know what? I have this, I have internet OG. I had this, do you remember the DV8 recorders? Do you ever see a digital video 8mm film?
Yeah. I've got a lot of home footage on that.
Yeah. So I have one of the, I still have the original one. I said, let's just do a walkthrough. I'll convert it to Flash video. We'll put it on your website, and that'll get you traction. She sold that house in like 2 weeks after doing this before YouTube.
Right.
Video wasn't a thing, but
right.
I'm like, wait a minute. Since you can't get people as a realtor to come and walk through your house that you have listed, what would be the second best thing? The second best thing would be to mail them a video or something, right? Or figure out a way to get that video on your website. And so that's what I did. I didn't have the foresight that you had of going, hey, I should create a platform for this, right? So you like, duh, like that it's just smart that you did that. I never thought of it. But you've created a phenomenal platform. I'm interested in what Anthony has to say. I was not only able to survive, but thrive with the challenges in the beginning of COVID. It helped me keep contacts close. And yes, exactly. Exactly. So, dude, your platform is incredible. It's just absolutely incredible, man.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that. You know, it's so interesting because the story that I wanted to share about how we came together it's such a perfect metaphor, because I remember someone on my team said, hey, there's this dude that's not very happy with the video templates that we built. And that's a whole feature and a whole story in and of itself that we built for this larger client. And I said, I need to talk to him because I don't want someone to be upset, and I need to learn about what's going on. I had no idea who you are. You knew that.
Yeah.
I didn't say, oh, this guy's a podcaster, this guy's an Amazon influencer, this guy's done 3,000 live stream and has co-authored, almost a dozen books. I didn't know any of that stuff. You were just a human being to me that was going through some struggle, and that's where I activate. Okay, that's where I just turn on and I say, how can I help this person, and how can I improve, and how can this platform that we built improve so that we can ultimately help a lot more people.
Right.
And then when we came together, and what I kind of told you on a preliminary basis with this idea of, we built the video pages off the shelf. Those are the best converters. We put all of our R&D into getting the most conversions. So those work better than video templates. Unless you have some specific reason for branding, just do the default ones because you'll get the most engagement, like 200 to 300% increase over, something that's custom built. We call them lean in action pages because you watch it and you're like, click, click, click.
Yep.
But the point of my story, though, is that, that idea of listening and putting the ego aside is something that I had to learn how to do. I was not born with that. It took me a long time to learn to say, you know what? I made a mistake. I screwed up. Something that we built is not right. We have not communicated something. There's not a tooltip. There's not a support article. There's not a YouTube video.
Yeah.
Something that we've done is not good enough, and we need to learn about that. And it's sort of, it was liberating. It was empowering, because all of a sudden, instead of feeling embarrassed and saying, oh, that guy doesn't know anything, he's a screw up, he's a lame guy. Instead of feeling like that, you actually feel like, you know what? How can I improve? And you put your ego aside. And we've been doing that for like 4 years now. It's just like,
dude, is that how long Dubb's been around? 4 years?
It's been around for 4 years, but
Wow.
really we got started in 2019. I mean, we really started to take off in 2019, pre-pandemic. And then, when the pandemic hit, then it was a whole nother thing because everything was asynchronous video.
Yeah.
People didn't know about synchronous and live, and getting someone into a Zoom was challenging. It's what our kids
Yeah.
were doing to learn.
Yeah.
So, it's been a tremendous journey for us.
I am, I'm really blown away. I was in, I told you I use, I just started about a month or so ago using ClickUp, which is another phenomenal tool. And I was in ClickUp earlier today and I saw a little Dubb thing inside of ClickUp. I'm like, wait a minute, they don't even have ClickUp listed on their website. How's there Dubb in my ClickUp? So like, I was like, holy crap, they're everywhere. So I just think that like, and if people knew at first, if you here, let me say it like this, because I'm good friends with Grant Cardone and Jeffrey Gitomer, who's known as the king of sales and wrote the Little Red Book of Selling. And I mean, I just know all these people in the sales arena. I've been in sales my whole life. If you own a business, you're in sales. If you're in sales, you're in sales. And if your job is to sell, which means you're gonna, you're going to present your service or your product and help a customer solve a problem in their life with it, then you need to have an arsenal of tools available to you to help you convey your message. Well, not just the pandemic, people look online for stuff. They want to, and now, now, especially now, YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world, owned by the largest search engine in the world. And so people are, I forget how many searches a day there are on YouTube, but it's something absolutely ridiculous. So like you can't even fathom the number. That's how big it is. And so video is massive. I personally have a podcast with over 400 episodes. It's called Breakthrough Walls. Please like, share, and subscribe. I'm kidding. I got that from somebody's YouTube video, but I have over 400 episodes that I've done on my podcast now, my show that I convert to a podcast. And I hate to listen to a podcast. I can't listen to a podcast. It makes me crazy. Like I don't know if it's, I just don't have the time. Like I sit and I work and I will take a break and watch a video. And so the power of video outside of, like, Anthony Fonte is on here. Anthony wants, he wants to make more money. And if I have a tool that I could sell Anthony to help him make more money, there are two ways that I'm going to be able to do that. One, I could show up at his office or his home office, knock on his door and say, hey, I'm Ken Walls. I'm friends with Ruben, and he told me to come over and chat with you and yada, yada, yada. And he would, maybe tell me to get off his doorstep or get out of here. Or he may listen, or, and there's only so many people you can do that with, right? Or I can pick up the phone and I can cold call him. And there's Dr. Bernie Siegel. That guy is a legend. I wrote a book with him as well. That's he's an incredible human being. I really suggest you watch or listen to that or watch that. But anyway, I digress. So to get to Anthony, how can I get to Anthony? I can get to Anthony by sending him a video through Dubb. And what I love about Dubb, man, is all the calls to action you can put. You can send a Dubb and say, hey, go download my free ebook, and there's the button. It's free. You can 100 live stream secrets right there, or ideas, whatever. You can go right there and click on that right underneath the video. You can go to, you can click on another button, go check out my Grow Live Academy, and it's not like in your face. I could do a video going, Anthony, I've got a couple of tools that can help you in your business. One is free. The other one is $9.97 a year. And if you go down below, the 100 live stream secrets and ideas ebook is free. Just click on that and it'll take you over to that. Or you can join my Grow Live Academy by clicking that other button down there and blah, 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 blah. So, I can reach, how many people can you reach like that? I mean, you can reach an unlimited amount of people. Video is the most powerful tool that we have right now in the technology space. And there's like nobody's using it. And when I say nobody, I mean like nobody. There's of course there's the YouTubers. There's actually a word for people that actually do something with YouTube called YouTubers, right? So there's YouTubers, there's Facebookers, there's
creators.
There's what?
Creators.
Right. There's now there's dubbers. I love that, by the way. I get royalty on that if you use it. So, and my attorney is watching. So I'm kidding. So, but there are all of these people out here that they may hear your voice, but they've been ripped off by telemarketers and beat up by telemarketers. They may read part of your email that you send them. They're not going to read the whole thing probably. But there's a really good chance that if you send them a personal, quick 30 to 60 second intro video, just saying, hey, Anthony, Ken Walls, I've done over 3,000 live streams. I've helped a lot of people in the real estate space, triple, quadruple, sometimes 10x their business. If you'd be open to having a conversation with me, my calendar's right below this video. Pick a time, book it, and let's talk and see if I can help you with anything.
Nice.
And
perfect.
There's a chance that he says, why not? I'll talk to this dude, see what he's got, right? But if it's just an email, a bland, like I typed out an email, I don't know, man. I think that I think people are missing the boat. That's all.
Okay, so let's unpack this because there's this.
Stop sharing my page.
Okay, so well, real quick, let's give you do have a promotional offer which I really want to promote. 100livestreamsecrets.com. So we're going to share this in the show notes. So everyone should just go grab this free ebook because this is powerful. And this is really
it's literally part of my chapter in Jeffrey Gitomer's book. It's the largest chapter in that book.
If you value time and how to learn how to live stream, get a coach, read the books, go download this ebook, buy Ken's book from Amazon, or you can take 2 years and you can do it the way that I did it, which is make every mistake in the book. I'm still making them on a daily basis, today included. So
that's all right. So am I. It's all good.
So the unpacking of video is so interesting. So we in fact, on that whiteboard, that blackboard behind me, I have a list of why people don't want to do video, like why they're not comfortable. And I can just literally read this. Number one is they forget about it. Okay. They sign up, they get excited, and then they get distracted and they go do other stuff. Right?
Yep.
So it's not top of mind. Maybe that's one objection. Another objection is that they have low confidence, right? So they have like video phobia. They have issues where they don't feel comfortable on camera. We've heard that one before.
Yeah.
Another one is that they haven't seen the results yet. When they think of video, they think of the YouTuber. They think of the young person creating content without the objective of monetizing it.
Yes.
So they question the value. And there's a number of other sort of objections. And when I think about these objections, I take it on as a challenge. How can we create content? How can we educate? How can we build tech that's easy to use? And I always ask myself, I was like, how can we just prove the results? Because at the end of the day, I don't feel comfortable on video. I don't see the value of video. Okay. Do you like making money? Do you like getting conversions? Do you like getting more bookings? Do you want to 3x your process? Do you want to 10x your process?
Right.
Start with video because it's a good place to begin. And I'm always thinking about how to get that social proof, because when people have results, all of a sudden they magically overcome the objections.
Yep, they do. Sorry, I was just sharing the YouTube video to my YouTube community, whatever they call it. I mean, look, the bottom line is video is far more powerful of a communication device. It's just a tool, right? It's just a tool. And so many people are trying to, pound a nail in with a wrench when the hammer's laying right there next to him. Like, dude, just pick up the hammer. It's so much easier to hammer a nail in with a hammer. Like, they literally call it hammering the nail. So, like, this video, and I get that people are like, I'm not comfortable on video. Like, I've done thousands of live streams where it's just me and the camera. I don't have a Ruben. It's just me and the camera, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not having I'm having a conversation with anyone that shows up if they show up. So, and in the beginning, I just had Grant Cardone on last year, the day after he got finished filming Undercover Billionaire. He jumped on a live stream with me that night. And he said, I mean, if you don't know who Grant Cardone is and you're on social media, you're on the wrong social media. Like, I don't know how you don't know who that guy is. It surprises me when people are like, who? I'm like, who? Are you an owl? Like, but he said, because I said, what do you think, people could do right now to really get the ball rolling in their business? And he said, dude, what you're doing right now, they need to learn how to get online and use this. He goes, but man, let me try to do my Grant impression. Man, it's hard when only 2 people are watching. He's right. It is, man. It's really hard because you think, man, everybody hates me. There's 7.5 billion people on this planet and 2 losers are watching me. Right. Like, you just feel like crap, but eventually once because when I first started going live, I've said this, man, I hope this isn't inappropriate. The very first time I went live was on Periscope, and I bought an iPhone. I was an Android guy. I was never going to own an iPhone until Periscope wasn't available on Android. So I bought an iPhone, decided to go live. I went live. Or I had my employees around the conference table, and I'm like, all right, I'm getting ready to do a live. And they're all looking at me like, okay. And I'm like, this is my first time ever doing a live stream. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And I was, RIP Twitter bottom. So, which you could put Twitter, they're probably going to RIP soon too, but that's another story. Anyway, so I went, okay. And I eventually clicked the go live button on Periscope. I'm looking at the phone. It says there's 0 people watching. And I'm like, hi. And I'm just like I felt like a complete idiot. I was like, so I'm just testing this out. I've never done this before. I don't even know what to say. And then all of a sudden there's like 1 person watching, then 2, and then 3. And I'm like, I'm going to throw up now. I mean, I was nervous as a hooker in church, man. I was terrified. I was like, what in the heck am I doing right now? And why? Like, I was like, why? Why am I doing this? But I'm going to tell you, here's what made me keep coming back. Because I did another live stream later that day, and then another, and then another. I did over 800 live streams my first year of doing live streams.
Nice.
I was doing it 5 times a day, man. I'd get on and I'd go live for you just saw Grant in Vegas at the EXP. I have a lot of EXP people that are in my Grow Live Academy. EXP freaking rocks, man. I love their business model. But what was I saying? Oh, so Grant Cardone says this. I don't know anybody else that really drives this home except for me. And I don't take credit for it. Grant is the man. I've spent a lot of one-on-one time with that guy. And I'm telling you, man, he's on a different level, but he says all the time, you got to get attention. Money follows attention. And he asked me directly, what are you hiding from? And I'm like, dude, what? I'm not hiding from anything. I'm sitting in your office. I was in his office in Miami. I'm like, I'm not hiding. What are you talking about? And he says, well, you don't have a fan page and this and that. And he starts naming off all these things that I wasn't doing that he knew I wasn't doing to get attention. He's like, you got to get attention, man. You got to get attention. And so that's why I use live streaming, because look, Ruben, if you didn't know who I was and I was trying to sell you a new copy machine, whatever it was, right? And I showed up and I said, hi, I'm Ken. I'm with XYZ Copy Machines and I have a great deal on this copier. Can I come in and talk to you about it? And you slam the door and say, get the hell out of here. I don't need a copier. And okay, thanks and bye. And I left. And then I came back the next day and I said, hey, I'm XYZ. I said I don't need a copier. And you slam the door. And I come back the next day and you're like stopping me in the hall. Dude, I said I don't need a freaking copier. Quit coming here. And then I come back the next day and you're like, oh my God, this dude's relentless. Come in and show me your freaking copier. Okay? Like, show me your copier. But that's the way that it works. When you are using video like Dubb and you're doing live streams and you're using this technology, everybody that sells copiers in the Los Angeles area, look up Ruben's office address and go sell him a copier. So and don't give up. So
I better go lock my door.
But so I think that people, and that's something else. People, you said it a second ago, people sign up for stuff like Dubb, they get excited about it, and then they forget about it.
Yeah.
They don't, they don't set an intention. They're very, very unintentional when it comes to marketing or getting their message out or communications. I think a lot of people are living, in a reactive way instead of a proactive way. So they're reacting to everything going on in their day instead of being proactive, going, you know what, I'm going to reach out to Anthony and I'm going to send him a Dubb video talking about the Grow Live Academy. And I'm going to keep sending him videos until he says, yes, I'm going to follow up until one of us dies. And it's going to be with Dubb video. And he's going to see me everywhere because I'm going to be on live streams. He can block me on one platform, but I'm going to be on the other one.
Well, what's funny about that is we can automate this. The only thing that's missing is some sort of a death trigger. If someone dies, we'd have to go into public records, or there'd have to be some, like a loved one would have to click a trigger, and then the automation stop.
Yeah. That's funny. I suppose once their credit card stops going through. But I just think that people, I just hung up the phone. I told you right before you and I talked, I hung up the phone with a guy that's a billionaire who's now a friend of mine on Facebook. He'll be on my show on Monday. This guy.
And so you had to kick someone, you had to kick a friend out because you're at the 5K limit on Facebook.
I get unfriended. People get tired of my crap.
But you still unfriended someone. So just a message to the poor soul that just got unfriended by you. I'm so sorry for your loss. Send
Ruben a friend request. He has room.
Right.
I'm just kidding.
Well, you saw the screen video. I didn't even know, because I'm not I should be more active on Facebook. I don't know why I'm not. It's probably because there's too many childhood friends and family on Facebook, and I don't want to.
That doesn't matter. I have them too, man.
I know. I think I like Grant's idea of having a Facebook page, which I actually do.
No, that's not his idea. Listen, man.
Right.
He says use everything.
Yes.
And that includes your personal Facebook page.
Yeah.
Are we live on your personal page right now? We're not, are we?
No. Yeah.
Good thing I'm not your coach. So
well, you are my coach, which we're actually going to talk about my book in a little bit. So
yeah. So look, look, and this dude, in no way am I bragging. I swear this is not bragging, but I now have the blue check mark next to my name on my personal profile on Facebook. Facebook reached out to me about it. They said, hey, it looks like you qualify to be verified. And I'm like, what's that? I don't, what do you like? What? And I thought they were talking about my fan page, and where I have 76,000 followers now. And they were talking about my personal page. And at first I thought, this is some scam. No way. And then I found out it was actually coming from Facebook. And so they verified me on Facebook. The reason that I'm verified, the reason that this changed my life. The concept of getting massive attention. I've knocked on residentially and commercially. I've knocked on thousands upon thousands of doors, walking in cold off the streets, doing the cold call thing. I never sold copiers, not yet. But selling something, some sort of a service or a product. And I've trained thousands of salespeople to do the same. And it's, dude, I think if anybody looked at me and said, I love knocking on doors, I love to cold call, I would look at them and say, and you would lie to me about other things too. Like, nobody wakes up in the morning and goes, man, I can't wait to go out and knock on some doors today. So my whole thought process is, how do I shortcut that? How do I get around that stupid idea of knocking on Anthony's door, knocking on Ruben's door? How do I circumvent that? What's the shortcut, right? Well, last week I found it, and it's called Dubb. And listen, Ruben, you didn't even we didn't get on here to talk about Dubb. You wanted to come on and talk about me, but I love this platform, dude. And I think anybody that's not using it, you're out of your mind. In fact, I love it so much, I bought a custom URL for my affiliate link.
Nice. Yeah. Oh, getdubb.com. That's your affiliate link. Yeah, everyone should click on that.
It is. I bought a custom URL. But
right. Well, I mean, we're even, because I got getkenwells.com. That's the second time I'm sharing that joke with you.
That is so funny. But I think, look, man, people need to get attention. And when I heard the first time I heard Grant Cardone say that, I was like, come on, man, I get attention. I'm on the phone all the time. There's a lot of people that are in business that are just busy, but they're not making money. And it's sales activity and closing sales that make money. It's not just being busy. Well, yeah, I made a list of 50 people today. Well, what'd you do with it? Well, I it took a while. I had to make the list. I'm going to do that tomorrow. Well, and then tomorrow comes and something else comes up. And so I think that Dubb is, man, it's a way, it's so convenient, because I love live streaming. I love to go live, and I do my show, and I do a lot of like Glenn Morshower is my best friend in the world, and him and I do a show called the Ken and Glenn Show. Glenn has been an actor for 46 years. He was Agent Aaron Pierce on the TV show 24. He's currently on the TV show Fox Television, The Resident. He plays Marshall, the billionaire on that show. And he's my best friend. And he, because of me live streaming, because of me getting attention, him and I became friends. And then he reached out to me and asked me if I would do a show with him. And I was like, on TV? And he's like, no, you idiot, on the internet. Like, he didn't say idiot, but he, I was like, oh yeah. And here's the other thing. And when I do a stage talk, I always bring this up, and that is this. And you stay on screen with me. Don't give me full screen. I want to show you something. If I came to you and I said, Ruben, I'm with ABC, NBC, CBS, and Fox. They hired me. All the networks got together, hired me to come out and talk to you. And we've decided that we like your look. We love your content. We love everything you've got going on. And we love you so much that we want you to run ads on our networks, all of them, 24 hours a day. You can run it anytime you want. And Ruben, you know what? It can be any length of video that you want. We just want you on there running ads anytime, man, anytime. And you know what we're going to charge you for that? Nothing. It's free. It's free for you. Would you do it?
Hard to say no to that one. Hard
Dude,
to say
if
no
you
to
said
that
no to
one.
that, I'd be like, dude, sure, there's something wrong with you. Like, right? But here's the thing. Facebook is 10 times bigger than all of your local 1,000 times bigger than all of your local networks combined.
Yeah.
And people ignore it.
I know.
They ignore it. And I'll ask you this.
Okay.
One more question.
Please.
How many friends do you have on Facebook, your personal page?
Not a lot. 100 plus.
100 friends on Facebook?
Yeah. My fan. My regular page.
1,500.
I don't know if I have that many. I've been really cold on Facebook for a number of years.
I think you do. I think I remember seeing that you had, but maybe not. I don't know. Anyway, here. Of those people, do any of them own a business, or are they in sales? Any of your friends on Facebook?
Well, I mean, what we started with was if you're in business, you're in sales.
Yeah, right.
And if you're in sales, you're in business. So
right,
yeah.
right. So do how many of you? Let's say that you only have 100. I think it's way more than that. But let's say you have 100. How many of them are paying customers of Dubbs? How many of them know what you do for a living?
This is a great convo. My journey. Okay, so if you really want me to get into this, I will unpack this. But this is not a short answer. It's going to take me at least a couple of minutes here.
Let's unpack it. Go.
Okay. So we all have gone through journeys in our lives, right? We've all gone through positive things, negative things. We've gone through trauma.
Yep.
Those things have made us who we are right now, right?
Yep.
I'm so tired of people saying, that guy in high school bullied me, and he messed me up, Yeah. I'm so tired of people saying, you know what, that person broke my heart, my ex broke my heart. I'm so tired of hearing that, because
dude, you're 82, get over it.
Not only that, but if it weren't for the struggle and if it weren't for the friction that we had in our lives, who would we become? I mean, that's what really creates personality. It's the struggle that we go through, and it's the trauma that we go through. Now, I say this with a lot of compassion, a lot of empathy. I'm not trying to be insensitive to things that are inhumane and things that, some of us can't even fathom. I'm not referring to that, because some stuff is just, it's below the belt. It's not cool. But what I'm really talking to is just everyday struggle that we go through, because it's time that we start actually saying, you know what, it was that bully that made me do this, or it was that person that says, hey, Ken, you're never going to write a book. You're never going to amount to anything, Ken, because that's what someone said. That's what your teacher said to you in high school, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Well, middle school, but yeah.
And then, years later, look at this, almost a dozen books that you've co-written. Seven, lucky number 7, tremendous, right? So,
and I'm writing the 8th right now.
And you're writing the 8th. I mean, let's think about that. Let's think about all that friction that we received that made us actually push through, right?
Yep.
The reason why I'm saying this is because I was not who I am now. My Facebook page represents my old world, my high school stuff, me as a kid, a little shy, a little reserved, a little introverted, sort of a tech geek, kind of, a music geek, and when I realized that all these things that you're talking about, where I realized that, hey, I want to go and be a person. I want to go and build something. I want to affect change in society. I made the choice to say, you know what, I'm going to leave that behind. I'm going to have that be my little tiny page for my friends and my family. But then I'm going to go get on YouTube, and I'm going to go get on Instagram, and I'm going to go get on Twitter, and I'm going to go, put myself out there. And I never connected the dots back to my early childhood Facebook stuff. And that's what it really represents for me. So, maybe this is the sign that I've needed to say, you know what, let me go unlock that. Let me connect the dots finally.
So, and I love that you just, dude, that's what I love about you. You're just transparent, and I love that. And you're willing to just put it out there. I think, and I get it. I didn't even graduate high school. I walked out in 12th grade. I said, this is stupid. They're like, you didn't get a biology credit in 10th grade. And I'm like, yeah, because it sucked. I hated biology. I'm not dissecting a frog ever again. What the hell do I need biology?
I don't use a lot of biology in my day to day.
No. So, but and by the way, the teacher that told me, the English teacher that told me I'd never be anything, has never written a book, and I have. So, there's that. But look, man, like, I'm gonna hold up a thing here in a minute, but
no,
like,
I know what it is. I know exactly what it is.
The bracelet.
Yep.
Don't hold it up.
Do it.
All right, I won't.
Do it.
Huh?
Do it.
No, here, listen. In life, we get to choose whether we want to be a victim or a victor. And the guy I'm going to interview on Monday, the billionaire, with a B, he said that the other day, man. And I've heard, obviously I've heard other people say it. I've said it. I mean, I was just invited to the 35th reunion, I think, of our graduating class. And I'm like, and the woman that sent me the invite, I, grew up with her. I went to, and I'm like, but I didn't graduate. Why are you inviting me? She's like, but you've done a lot of really cool stuff. And, so I'm like, I just sat back and I thought, man, that's incredible to me that, I'm being invited to my 35th class reunion to a class I didn't graduate from. Right. So, it really kind of squashes all the ideas that you have to do everything perfect. The other thing is, there might be kids from high school on there and on your personal page, and you go live and you start talking to them, and you find out that that's the CEO of a huge real estate company, and they have 250,000 realtors they want to get on Dubb. Like, you just never know who's watching. I had Grant Cardone say it to me. I was in Vegas, and he was at this thing in Vegas, and we were standing outside talking. And I said, well, he asked me, do you want to come in and hear me talk to all these chiropractors? And I'm like, dude, no, I'm good. I gotta go. And he's like, all right, brother. And gives me a hug. And he's like, I'm watching you, man. I'm watching everything you're doing. And I was like, really? He goes, I see everything you're doing. I said, wow, dude. And so, which meant a lot to me. It meant a lot to me. You never know who's going to see you. But if you're not doing live streams, if you're not using Dubb and putting yourself out there where people can, because an email, they can't, like, you've read emails, you've read text messages, things get lost in translation in that stuff. I could send you a voice message. It's still not the same as when I get on video and I'm talking to you like this, and I get to read your face, your energy. I know if you're distracted. I know if you're looking over at your phone. I know that I know these things when I'm looking at you on a video.
Well, there's that camera, and there's what's in front of that camera, and then there's what's behind that camera.
Yeah.
And can you imagine if we had a camera on both sides and we were comfortable with the other person having the button to switch it?
Right.
That's not something that we're comfortable with, because on the other side of that camera is real life, right? And that breakthrough to actually connect those two worlds, it's the most liberating thing on the planet. I mean, we need personal security and we need safety.
Yes.
But at the same time, it's liberating to not have to hide. It's liberating.
And dude, what you just said is exactly the point. Whether that's the entire premise of using video. If the people that say that say, well, I'm going to, as soon as I get my hair right and I get my makeup right, or as soon as I get all the right equipment, I'm going to invest some money. I'm going to spend some money and get the right equipment, and then we'll go live, and then we'll use Dubb, and then dude, I sat in here the other morning. By the way, Richard Bliss Brook, if you're watching, dude, I got your hat today. Thank you. Richard Bliss Brook owns the second largest home on his island in Hawaii. He's a friend of mine.
Nice.
He sent me that hat. So thank you, brother. I appreciate you. But I sat in here the other day and I'm like, I gotta get on for something. And I threw a hat on and just said, let's roll. Let's do it. I hadn't even shaved yet. Yeah, Leah. And so stop. Here's my whole thing. Stop waiting on everything to be perfect, because it's never going to be. Never. You've got to take massive action. It's such a cliche, man. But here's the other thing. If you have a product or a service that genuinely can help people, why are you hiding? What are you hiding from? Your past?
It's a
Something
voice.
you said? Something you did?
It's a voice.
Yeah, sure.
It's a voice in our head.
Absolutely.
It's our ex-husband. It's our ex-wife. It's our
Yeah.
high school teacher. It's the
Yeah.
bully. It's the ex-boss, the ex-employee, the person that said, you know what? You're this, you're that, you're too this, you're too that, you're too little this, you're too little that. And it's stuck with us.
Yep.
It's stuck with us. And it's not real. It's in our minds.
Do you know Dr. Joe Dispenza, who's one of my favorite humans on the planet? He has several books, but one called Becoming Supernatural. He says that, we're walking around, and he's one of the top neuroscientists in the world. And he says, it's scientifically proven. And I'm friends with Dr. Jeffrey Fannin, who traveled the world with Dr. Dispenza. And Dr. Fannin performs a lot of these tests as well, but it's scientifically proven that the average human being has somewhere between 60, 70,000 thoughts a day. And this is the crazy part, man. This is the absolute insanity. Of those, say, 60,000 thoughts a day, 90+% of those thoughts we have are the same exact thoughts we had yesterday. And worse than that, these thoughts are actually stories that we're telling ourselves, right? These stories. And the stories, he says, that we're walking around telling ourselves, 50% of them are made up. They're lies. They're lies. They're not even true. So 90%. So every day you're having this 90% of the thoughts you're having, 95%, whatever, are the same thoughts you had yesterday. And half of them aren't even true. They're made up. And so when you really put that into perspective, me personally, I don't want to walk around telling myself a bunch of lies about stories that aren't even true. I don't want that in my life. So how do you change that? The way you change that is you start taking different actions than you take right now. You mess things up. I wrote one of my books is a journal I published on, it's on Amazon, and it's called the 10-Minute Mastery Journal. You can go to 10minutemastery.com. It'll take you right to the Amazon link. But it's all about writing down your goals twice a day. It's all about writing down positive affirmations about yourself. It's about writing down the things that you're grateful for, and which is what will, there you go, one 5-star rating. That's pathetic. Look at that. I just lowered the price too. I just knocked $3 off of it, or $2. No, it was $7.99. But anyway, so it's about learning how to take control of. Again, we can't do, hey, show everybody your password to Amazon. So we can't.
I was trying to show everybody that I'm about to buy your book.
Oh, dude, that's awesome, man. There's certain things that I guess are beyond our control. If I said to you, hey, dude, we've been on here for 50 minutes, tell me the exact number of times your heart has beat, or tell me the exact number of times you've blinked. Tell me the exact number of breaths you've taken in the last 50 minutes and 27 seconds. You would not be able to give me an accurate number. At best, you would guess. And so all of those things are happening in the background unconsciously. Your subconscious mind is controlling all of that, which is also what's controlling your life. And people don't take the actions to actually change what's going on in their life. They stay complacent. And I get it. I'm not judging. I'm a recovered alcoholic with 19 years sober. I know what it's like to be in a rut. But I decided a long time ago, I don't want to live. I don't want to be normal. A buddy of mine, Joe Ingram, who lives out in Orange County, he's like, he's like, don't be normal. Normal people get normal paychecks. And I don't want to be normal. I do not have a desire to be normal. So I meditate. I write a lot. I write my goals a lot. Grant Cardone makes a point about that. He says, hey, who do you think has a better shot at attaining their goals? The guy, because most of us write our goals down one time a year. It's the day after the hangover's over. So January 2nd or whatever, we start, okay, woo, glad that hangover's done. I'm going to get busy on my goals. So they write their goals down, they tuck them away in a drawer, and they go back the following year to see how far they've gotten with them. And so that's maybe 5% of the world at the most. I don't even think it's that high. Will write their goals once a year. If you write your goals every single morning and every single night, Anthony, that should say getdubb.com. Anyway, I'm kidding. Oh, this is your live stream, not mine. Sorry.
Nice.
I'm playing. So, but every you write your goals, even if start with 3 goals or 5 goals, like start somewhere and write them down in the morning, write them down at night before you go to bed. So your brains, this comes from Grant Cardone. He's the one that he's like, look, by the end of a year, if you do it every single day for a solid year, you've written your goals 730 times, as opposed to a small percentage of the world that might write them once in a year. Who's got the better chance at obtaining their goals? And that's a simple rhetorical question. Finally made my goals my wallpaper on my computer, so I always see them. Let me give you just a. I'm telling you, Leah, I don't know you. You look like a very sweet lady, but I will tell you that if you write your goals every single day, twice a day, try it for, I don't know. Well, my journal, you get my journal. It's good for 60 days. I think it's 60 days. Try it for 60 days. If your life doesn't change, if it doesn't get better, if you don't see significant improvements, if you do the work every day, people, that's the other thing, is people won't put in the work because they're afraid of what?
Failure.
They're afraid of, what if I put in all this work and nothing changes? It stays the same. Then I've just wasted 60 days of my life writing in this goofball's journal that he made. Right? But what if it does?
Well, there's another thing which I think about a lot, and I'm so glad that this stuff is on the whiteboard. It's because you can't get results from 1 day or 2 days or 3 days or 1 week or 4 weeks. You have to really give yourself a commitment. And I think one of the most challenging things for people to do, me included, is to know when to pivot, when to change, when to give up, when to say, you know what, this was a failure. This was a learning. Let me go reevaluate and let me do something else. And I think the most important thing for me personally is that if I don't have stretch goals with daily feedback to ultimately get me to a bigger place, it's hard for me to keep going. I love what you mentioned about when you started live streaming and that there were 0 people in the audience on Periscope. The way that I solved that problem is I said, you know what? I just want one person. I just want to have one connection made with a video that I do. And then
Yep.
that turned into 2, into 4, into 8. And as I started to get the feedback, I started to notice that there was this general trajectory that was going up. I mean, there was these little, valleys and stuff, but then there was the peaks.
Yep.
And the thing that I don't like is the fireworks, because I've had so many fireworks in my life.
Yep.
I was on the homepage of AOL, Yahoo, Huffington Post, CNN on one day. It was an insane day for a product that I released.
Wow.
And 2 weeks, I'll share that story later. 2 weeks later, it was like the biggest flat line of my life, ultimately, which led to the end of the startup, right?
Wow.
And consistency is key. We've heard that it's a cliche, but God, keep doing it. Don't just stop after one go.
It's the most important key, man. It is. There's nothing more important. What's her name? Marie Folio. Marie Folio. Is that her name? Marie Folio, I think. She says, I love this saying too, man. I love this saying. Everything is figure outable. I mean, dude, like everything is figure outable. If you're still alive, everything's figure outable. If you're dead, it doesn't matter. And here's the other thing that I believe the human ego has lived forever, right? I just think that it's part of our spirit. It's been around forever. There it is. Everything is figure outable. I love that. So if you you're like, dude, I'm gonna buy like $6,000 worth of books on this.
No, only the ones that you write.
Oh, okay. So, but if like you're gonna die, period. Like this that I'm walking around in, this meat suit that I have, it has an expiration date. And here's the worst part. I think God's got a sense of humor because he didn't tell me when it expired. Like at least when I go buy something at the grocery store, they tell me, hey, it'd be best if you eat this in the next few days by this date, or you use it by then. People just sit back and they wait for tomorrow because, and they, and they start making up all of these stupid excuses as to why they can't do it now. And again, this is not a judgment. I'm not judging anybody watching or listening to this. I've been there a gazillion times. Is that even a number? Gazillion? But I've been there. It is true. We haven't. So you got to get your foot off the brake, man. You have to take your foot off the brake. I told a good friend of mine this, who was a collegiate athlete star. I mean, star. I'm not going to tell you who it is, but he was a massive star and went on to play in the NFL. And he's, and it's been a while. And I said this to this, I'm like, look, man, you got to get your foot off the brake in life, man. It's time to go. You don't know when your time. I mean, as you get older, you start watching people drop that around you that, it just happens, like, because we have an expiration date. Well, I don't know. I could live to be 84 as opposed to what? 74. So that's 10 years. 10 years goes. Look how old you are right now. 10 years goes like that, man. It's like a flash. I have an 11-year-old daughter that it seems like yesterday she was this little tiny infant in my arm. And it Amazing. Happens, and everybody can relate to that has kids, man.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, this goes by so freaking fast. What in the hell are you waiting on? Stop it with the fear. You're buying into a bunch of lies that your mind is telling you. Don't blame it on the devil. Don't blame it on the bully. Don't blame it on the teacher. Don't blame it on your parents. Don't blame it on your big brother or your little sister or anybody. Take freaking responsibility for your life and go. For the love of God, go.
Yeah.
Sorry, let me get down off my.
No, you're right, man. I remember going through this process. I remember going through this process. The thing about fear and failure is that it's actually kind of addictive, and there's this magnetic force that draws you to it.
Yeah, man.
And it's like it's someone that's desperate. You can just smell it. You just feel it. Like we're born with this. It's in our genes. It's a survival instinct. When someone is desperate, we can tell, and we sense danger, and we want to avoid it, and it's like people in sales that are desperate, people that are in business that are desperate. And I can say this because I've been there.
So
and you wonder why is this not working? And then you get more desperate, and then you get deeper in the hole. And before you know it, you're so deep that you're unrecoverable.
And at least in your mind,
at least in your mind. But the reality is that everything is figure outable.
It really is, man. It really is. Think about every, and that's the part Dr. Joe talks about. Think about, like, you stub your toe in the morning on the nightstand, and you're like, son of that hurt, like from Tommy Boy. But like, like, and then later on you're at work and your toe's still hurting. You're getting a cup of coffee and a coworker walks up. How you doing? Man, I started off my day bad. I broke my toe. I think it's broke. Dude, you didn't break your toe. It's just hurting. Stop. But we embellish these stories.
And you hit your toe because you were on your phone, or because you didn't make your bed, or because you had a mess, or you had some boxes, or there was something, or there was a mess, or a banana peel. Where's the accountability?
It could be anything, right? Or it could just be that you hit your toe, and like Forrest Gump said, it happens, So like, you just gotta, like, move on from it, and again, start creating. That's what I love. Like, I love about Dubb is like, you can go in and, man, you want to get creative. You want to do a 30-second video, do a 30-second video. You want to do a 30-minute video, fine, do whatever. I don't know. Maybe there's limitations to that, but like, whatever it is that you want to do, you can do, and you can get creative, and you can put really cool pictures and colors. And I mean, and that's just one example. Dubb is a phenomenal platform, man. I'm so grateful. I forgot to tell you, who's the Tony Bubb that's the part of your, like, your marketing, dude, rocks. You guys got the marketing. It's phenomenal.
Thank you.
It's phenomenal. But I was like, no way. This chick isn't really named Tony Bubb that works for Dubb. That's not possible. So I go to Facebook. She's real. She's a real person. I was like, that is not even possible that there's a Tony Bubb working for
shout out
Dubb.
to Tony if you're listening to this. Awesome. That's so cool. That's so cool. I mean, but isn't that so interesting? Okay, right there, what you just said. You Googled it, okay?
I Facebooked it.
You Facebooked it, okay? You searched it. You did your research. How many of us search for ourselves? Because other people are searching for us, our business, our products, our people. Are we searching for ourselves?
Right.
Are we looking at what's on page one? Because guess what? We can control that. We can control that.
And look, it's all about frequency, man. Like, I've had people say, I got a bad review, man, and I don't, well, dude, bury it with content. Bury it.
Right.
You've got to bury it. You've got to, like, I had this attorney, this whack job that I blocked on social media that left during the election, people got crazy, and he commented on something of mine, and I blocked him. I'm like, I don't need that. Don't bring negativity into my Facebook stream. Like, it ain't happening. So I blocked the dude, and then he couldn't get to me anywhere else because I blocked him everywhere on every social media platform except for Amazon. And of course, he goes to my first book, this one, Walls of Wisdom, Turning Pain into Profit. and he leaves a negative review. And it wasn't even, he's never even bought the book, because you know how it says verified purchase?
Right.
He didn't buy the book. He's just a jackwagon. And you know
Well,
what?
that's why I bought your book, so I can leave you a great review after I read it. Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But you know, you just go get more reviews. Excuse me. I only have 47 reviews on that book. Because I haven't asked enough. I just haven't asked enough. If I wanted more reviews, I'd say, hey, those of you that bought my book, would you please go leave me a 5-star review? Some idiot that doesn't like me because I blocked him left me a 1-star review, and it said, pathetic attempt at being a motivation or so. I don't remember what he said. I was like, whatever, dude. And I was able to figure out who it was by clicking his name. And anyway, look, I think that we let all of those negative things that happen, man, we let it control us. The bullies, who was it? Somebody, I forget who it was. Somebody I interviewed on my show, talks about the bully in your head. Who was that? It's, you know, we have this bully in our head, man.
Yeah.
And it's made up. It's not even real. And it sucks, man. But like, just step back and identify it, right? And deal with it the way that you deal. How do you deal with a bully? How do you deal with a bully? Well, you can let them keep bullying you, or you do what we did back in my day. I can't believe I'm saying that, 53. But you know, and you confront the bully and you whoop its rear end. You handle it. You don't ignore it. I mean, you can ignore it to a point, but at some point, if the bully's still messing with you, you got to confront it. Yeah. And all of us are walking around with a bully in our head, and you got to confront it, man. And the way you do that is take action. You're afraid to go live, do it anyway. But what if somebody makes fun of me? Who's going to make fun of you? And if they do, so what?
Well, you know, one of the things that I love, I've started to read your book, Go Live, which I just purchased on Amazon. And one of the things that I really appreciate about the opening, the introduction, the beginning of this text, is that you talk about humor. You know,
That's Gedimer, Jeffrey Gedimer.
Jeffrey talks about humor.
Okay? Yep.
He talks about humor.
Yep.
Thank you for clarifying. And what I love about this is, and you embody this, so that's why I kind of assumed it was you, because that's how we started off. We started laughing, you know, and there's something so liberating, and there's something that just extinguishes fear when you laugh at it. And there's this gift that the universe gives us, which is when things fall apart. Right. When things fall apart, that's where the connection is. Why? Because it's vulnerability. And that's right. And that is something that I'm still learning, but it took me a long time to figure out that vulnerability and problems and mistakes, this is actually how we started this conversation. Yeah. Leaning into that vulnerability is where we actually bond, because that's where the arc is. You know, I was here and there was a problem, and then we came here together and then we solved that. And now we have a relationship based on this. You know, it's like, if we're on a deserted island and we don't have shelter, and it starts to rain, you can laugh, you can cry, you can dance. Eventually, we're going to build a shelter, hopefully, if we survive it, right?
We'll figure it out.
And then we're going to be hanging out there with the fire, with
or we'll find a cave and kill the bear that's inside, and then we've solved 2 problems.
Yeah.
Shelter and food.
Right. You know? So
everything is figure outable. And that's but it's not just we have to end because I have my mastermind starting in 20 minutes. But, you know, I think that if I were to give the biggest piece of advice that I would give anybody, you know, I went through a stretch of time. I had a car repossessed in front of all my employees. That was a really exciting day. I'd never been so humiliated in my entire life. This guy that worked for me walks in, hey boss, there's some dude out in the parking lot looking in your windows of your SUV. And I'm like, well, tell him to get the hell out of here. You're bigger than I am, dude. Like, he's like, well, I would, but he's got it blocked with his tow truck. Oh my God.
I
That
laugh with love.
sucks. That sucks. But you know, so no matter where you are in your journey, it doesn't matter. I don't care where you are. If you're in a business or you're in sales, if you're a billionaire, if you're a multimillionaire, or you can't pay your electric bill, like you've got to go. You got to go. If you're still alive, God's not done with you. You have a purpose, and that purpose, you know, like I said, I just hung up the phone a little bit ago with a guy who is a billionaire, and he's coming on my show, and then I'm going to do an Amazon live with him because I'm able to do that, and it's to talk about his new book. Can You Really Think and Grow Rich is the name of his book. And if you go to canyoureallythinkandgrowrich.com, there's a really cool video of him on there, and you can buy the book from there, and you'll get it in a day or two, as opposed to Amazon, which is back ordered with that book. But you know, why would a billionaire? I'm not a billionaire yet. Why would Grant Cardone? Why would anybody come and want to hang out with little old me? And the reason is very, very simple. They have a purpose. And they know that their purpose is not done yet because they're still breathing. They're still here. And these guys at that level, dude, they don't put stuff off. They don't put it off. They get it done and they go. Yeah, you got. Oh, by the way, if you don't close that pop-up window, that's all right. Don't worry about it. There's another way I'll show you. If you go to that website and you register, you just may win a trip on his private jet with him, because he's doing a drawing like there it is. Every I think 2 or 3 months he's planning on doing a drawing where you get to go right around with him on his private jet and you know, I'm assuming pick his brain, get help with your business, whatever. So but you know, he's going to be on my show. Why? Because he's got a purpose. He wants to get the message out about his book. He wants more people to know that, yes, because this guy left home at 12 years old. He left Montreal, Canada, and went to Florida, Tampa, Florida at 12, and was homeless until he was 17. There he is, Remy. Unbelievable story. I mean, absolutely mind-blowing story. And so why would he come and hang out with me? The reason Remy would come and hang out with me is he wants more attention. He wants people to know that, yes, you can. And right there is where you can register your email too for that same thing that I was just talking about. But you know, he has a purpose, man. Why would you? I mean, you've got one of the top platforms in the world when it comes to video communications. Why would you hang out with little old me? Because you have a purpose. You have a bigger purpose you're not done.
Yeah.
So go. Stomp on the gas, man. When I went through that trouble period of time and I had some bad employees that it was Grant Cardone I talked to on he called me that day, and this one particular day, that not the day of the repo, but another day, this key employee left my company finally, and he said, "Congrats, man." And I said, "Congrats? It's me and a graphic designer left here, dude. It's falling apart. Like, congrats? Everything's falling apart. My life is over." That's what the mindset I was in. He's like, "Yeah, well, now you can start with the right people and start over. Congratulations. I got to go." And hangs up. And I was like, he just hung up. Wow. He's congratulating me for my life falling apart. But you know, when you step back and you look at, he's like, "Look, when you're going through hell, stomp on the gas, man. You got to go."
Right. That's Churchill. Yeah.
So anyway, hey man, I'm very grateful you
Preach, man. No,
dude. I don't know. Did we? I feel like I may have talked way too much.
No, man. This is important. This is important. The things that we're talking about here are the number one thing that holds us all back, which is fear. And the amazing, there's this idea of there's nothing to fear but fear itself. You know, that's the famous quote. That's Churchill too, I think, is it not?
Yeah.
And
I
there's this
believe.
idea of no fear, you know, the clothing brand. And, you
Yeah.
know, how about it's time that we start actually addressing our fears? You know, how about it's time that we look at them in the face and say, you know what, I want to understand why I'm afraid. Like sometimes people get paranoid for certain reasons. Sometimes it's chemical, sometimes it's triggered based on trauma, sometimes it just happens randomly, right? And they run away from that paranoia, that fear. But
Yeah.
God, the beauty that I've had in facing fears, and it's really hard to do. I mean, who can actually do this on a day-to-day basis? Who wants to look at a lion directly in the mouth? It's not something that's desirable.
Right.
But the beauty and the evolution that I've found when I've actually done that, it's honestly been my most evolutionary moments in my life. And I recall like probably 3 incidents, which we'll share on the next podcast, of where I literally changed my life because I looked at fear right in the face. And I
Yeah.
realized that, you know what? The fears that I have actually were everything is figure outable, you know? And it
Yeah.
was something that I just needed to have just to evaluate, just to really just analyze. So
Yeah, dude.
I love the rhetoric, man. I love the inspiration. I love the motivation. I'm so glad we've been able to connect and
So am I,
we're
man.
just getting started, man.
Hey, you know what, man? Nothing happens by accident. I truly believe that, man. And
Yeah.
I'm so grateful I'm grateful to be able to call you a friend, man. And yeah, things are
Same.
just if you're watching now, I highly recommend you keep watching because things are about to get real. Listen, I want to wish all of your followers and people that are watching, everyone, if you're here in the United States, I'd like to wish them all a happy Thanksgiving. Wish them all a healthy and safe holiday, and don't eat too much. You'll get fat. I'm already there, so I'm planning to eat a lot. So but I'm kidding. No, anyway, listen, man, this has been great, and I appreciate you and your friendship. I appreciate Dubb. Everybody should be on Dubb. I don't care if they sign up my link or not, but they need to be on Dubb because it's amazing. It's freaking amazing.
Well,
So
thank you so much for saying that, man. It's humbling. Ken, appreciate you.
likewise,
And I look
brother.
forward to the next one, man. And
Yeah,
I've been working on what I promised, which is the release of my book, the hardcover. So I'm working on that. So I'm gonna deliver.
awesome, bro. Good.
All right, my
Glad to
man.
hear it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Gratitude. Thanks again. Bye bye now.